so we're diving deep into Discworld today. And,
Excited?
oh, always. Especially with this one. We're tackling pyramids this time.
Ah, classic.
Yeah, and, it's the seventh book in the series, but honestly, it's a great jumping on point even if you haven't read any Discworld before.
I'd agree with that. It's got that Pratchett charm right from the start, and it stands pretty well on its own.
Right, so for anyone just joining us, we're heading to Jellibeeb. It's this desert kingdom, kind of like ancient Egypt, but, well, with a Discworld twist. Pyramids, pharaohs, all that jazz.
And crocodiles, don't forget the crocodile.
Oh, yeah, can't forget those. Lots of them. But really, what we're going to be focusing on is how Pratchett uses this wacky setting to explore some pretty big themes,
Yeah.
like tradition versus progress.
That's the heart of it, isn't it? I mean, we've all felt that pull between the old ways and the new, right? It's a universal struggle.
Totally. And it all plays out through the story of Tepik, our main man.
Tepik, what a character. You've got this young guy trained as an assassin.
Assassin.
Yep, an assassin. Suddenly finding himself king of Jellibeeb.
Talk about a career change.
Right. And the thing is, that assassin background, it actually makes him a really unique kind of leader.
How so?
Well, he's been trained to think differently, to see solutions that others might miss. He doesn't approach problems like a typical king would. Remember that scene with the chariot?
Oh, yeah. The runaway chariot.
Exactly. He uses his knowledge of pressure points, something he learned in assassin school, to stop the whole thing. I mean, what other king would even think to do that?
It's brilliant. And it's that kind of quick thinking, that ability to improvise that makes him such a fun character to follow.
Oh, absolutely. He's constantly stumbling into these crazy situations, but he always manages to figure things out. It's part of his charm.
Totally. And then there's the whole thing with his dad.
His dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His dead dad who comes back as a ghost. It's hilarious.
Oh, right. The ghost dad. Yeah. It's classic Pratchett using humor to make you think.
So how does that play into the whole tradition versus progress thing?
Well, you've got Tepik trying to modernize Jellibeeb, shake things up a bit, and then you've got his dad, this ghost from the past, constantly popping up and saying things like, "But we've always mummified the crocodiles this way."
That sounds like my parents.
Right. It's that stubborn attachment to tradition, that fear of change that we see in so many people, even ourselves sometimes.
For sure, but it's not just his dad, right? The whole kingdom's like that.
Oh, Jellibeeb is tradition obsessed. I mean, they're building these massive pyramids, bigger and bigger, even though they serve no practical purpose. They have these elaborate rituals for everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean, remember this ceremony for choosing the royal toothbrush?
Oh, man, that was a good one.
It's hilarious, but it's also a commentary on how easily we can get caught up in these meaningless traditions, even when they hold us back.
So it's like Pratchett saying, hey, maybe we should question things a bit more,
Exactly. Are we doing things a certain way just because that's how they've always been done? Or is there a better way?
Good question. And, in the midst of all this, Tepik's also trying to navigate relationships.
Ah, yes. Tritsy?
Trissy, the handmaiden. They have this really fun dynamic.
She's great. She keeps him grounded, Challenges him, makes him think.
And she's not afraid to call him out when he's being ridiculous, which is often.
Often, yes. But it's a good thing. She helps him see things from a different perspective, which I think is really important for any leader.
Right. It's not just about giving orders. It's about listening, understanding different viewpoints.
Exactly.
And, through all the craziness, the pyramids, the crocodiles, the ghost dad, Tepik actually learns a lot about what it means to be a good leader.
He does. He realizes that it's not just about power, it's about compassion. It's about caring about your people, about making their lives better.
And about finding that balance between honoring the past and embracing the future.
That's the key, isn't it? We can't just cling to tradition blindly, but we can't forget where we came from either.
So what do you think? If you were suddenly in charge, what tradition would you challenge?
That's a tough one. I think I'd start with, well, maybe I'll let our listeners ponder that one.
Good idea. It's something we can all think about. All right, folks, that's our deep dive into pyramids. Until next time.
Happy reading.
And thanks for listening.